Okay, Matthias and Chris fight off. Okay, so what what's happening here is that we've got some really good sort of there's a lot of attempts being made, which is cool. The variety is there, but the thing is that there's no sort of indication of a purposeful cut um, being made. It's sort of being chucked out and see how it goes. Now, the trick to making sure it looks like you're being purposeful is to sell one of them, is to put ki behind it, zanshin behind it, make a big song and dance about it, break, and then go into churam, so that you can sort of almost peacock a little bit and really sort of show, yeah, I intended to do that and I got it, and it wasn't my best, but it was absolutely a nippon and so on, whatever you want to try and convey. So let me show you here. There's a really good nuki waza that maybe wasn't the perfect nippon, but it was definitely worthwhile selling. Let's see if we can see it. Here it comes. Oh, okay, so that there for me would have been a really great thing to sell. Really well timed, and then sell, 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 sell. So you've broken the distance to give yourself an opportunity to sell it, but your voice and your ki and your spirit drops a little bit there, and so the shimpan, or not the shimpan, but the judges have no reason to think that you got the point. You have to give them reason to think that you got the point, right? But that's, as I've been saying, trying to sell it as much as possible. Okay, it's cool. Again, Matthias, a good example of where you could have sold it here. So you built up exactly the same start, built up pressure. Okay, so it wasn't the perfect landing. It slipped off, but I still think that you should be putting some real spirit behind those attacks, right? Because what it tells us, or tells the judges, is that you've built up and you've done this purposefully, not just chucking it out and hoping that it lands, but you're actually skillful enough to have picked your timing, picked your waza, and really, really put spirit in behind it to show, yes, well, it wasn't my best, but it will bloody well do. And that was a valid cut by anyone's standards. And you may not have seen it because you were looking down at your notebook. So really try and sell it. It's an awesome strategy, a really important strategy. And I think in the particular with the opponent that you've got now, to over voice him and really show that spirit or that purpose coming through is going to draw the shinsa in, or the judge's eyes to you, and that's what you want. Okay, try and stay on the front foot if you can, Mathias, rather than sort of being pushed back there. Dmitri, it's good that he's able to push you back. Again, those door cut don't really have a place because the person's arms aren't being lifted up. So just be aware of that if you are watching this. Again, so, you know, yeah. So this second or third or fourth time that we've seen this, there's no opening at all. But there is an opening up here, right? So if you want to do hikiwaza, look for the openings, create the openings. Again, it's the thing that we don't want to see in a grading from kendo in general is just chucking it out there and hoping that it lands. Uh, it really, it's not as satisfying for you either. So creating the opening or making sure it's there before you sort of launch it is probably a lot of a nicer way to go. Just another point, Matthias, the point that I'm trying to make here is that at some point you have to sell something, And if you listen again to this video and the ki that you're executing, it's sort of very short. But men, kote, men. And that tells me that you're waiting for the miracle shot. You're waiting for it to land before you really sell it. But I think there's a lot of opportunities that might be missed in there. Sell one of them, even if it wasn't perfect. Sell it anyway, and draw the judge's eyes to you. There you go. That's a good sell. That's a good example. A good example of what I've been talking about, anyway. Okay. Yep. Here we go. So get 'em. Don't worry about going back. Keep going forward. Good. That's better. Excellent. Oh, sell it. Okay. So we picked up at the end there a little bit. I'm not sure if you were aware that perhaps the time was running out and you had to sort of step it up. I'm not sure. But there was about the last three or so cuts there. You really tried to sell them. And I think that everything else is good. Like you've got a good, strong kamae. Again, like the others, you're using quite a good bit of variety. You've got some really neat techniques in there with your nuki waza, nuki man, and stuff like that. Hold your ground, Mathias. Hold your ground. Stay forward. If he comes in, you can move to the side, knock his shinai out of the way, and then hit him and say, "Hey, don't come in, don't move in on me until I say so." You know what I mean? Like in taking control. You've got the sort of kamae that allows for that. It's a good, solid, strong kamae. Move to the side, knock a shinai out, and move on your terms. When you execute, like I've been saying, sell it. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay not to sell all of them like a crazy person, but at some point, you're going to have to try and convince the judges that that was a really, really good point, or that that was a purposeful point. And as I keep saying, draw their eyes to you